Two boys are dying, and they are trying to stay alive long enough to see a movie. Not because they love movies, because they believe the hero in that film might save them. They are waiting for a man they have never met, a man who has no idea they exist yet. And what none of them know is that the man they're waiting for is fighting the same battle they are. Marvel Studios is deep into production on one of the most anticipated films in a generation. Black Panther. The character of T'Challa is more than a superhero. For millions of people around the world, he represents something that has rarely appeared on a movie screen before. A king, a protector, a hero who looks like them. At the center of the film is the actor bringing that character to life, Chadwick Boseman. By this point, he understands the responsibility of the role. He has read the letters. He has seen what this film means to families and children who have never seen themselves represented as heroes. But somewhere far away from the cameras, there are two boys. Their names are Ian and Taylor. Both are living with terminal cancer. Their parents are watching the calendar in a way no parent ever wants to. Counting treatments, counting hospital visits, counting time. And there is something else about this story that makes it difficult to hear. Because the man they are waiting for is fighting the same battle. But no one knows that yet. During the filming of Black Panther, Boseman begins communicating with the boys. The details of how that connection first formed aren't fully known, but what is known comes from Boseman himself. He later explained that their parents told him something that stayed with him. Their boys were trying to hold on, trying to stay alive, long enough to see the movie. Think about that. A child too sick to play outside, too weak to go to school, still fighting every day, because there is one moment they want to reach. The moment the hero appears on screen, and on the other side of that moment is Chadwick Boseman. Not as a studio representative, not as part of a marketing campaign, but as a man who has heard those parents and cannot simply look away. In 2018, Boseman visits St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He walks the same hospital halls that so many children fighting cancer know too well. He sits with young patients, talks with them, encourages them. One patient named Zoe, who was being treated for a brain tumor, later said meeting him gave her strength during treatment. Not the movie, not the superhero. Him. There's also a text message sent privately by Boseman to a producer on the film, Nate Moore. In it, he asks about helping another sick child. His message is quiet and direct. He writes about a child who has been through hell, battling disease. And then he says, if we were able to ease their suffering and bring joy for a moment, then we made a difference in his life. Not a press statement, not a social media post, a private text to one person about one child. This is not a campaign. This is a man deciding quietly that these children matter. But the truth is, the children were not the only ones drawing strength from those moments, because the man sitting beside them was also fighting for his life. Black Panther releases in February of 2018. The response is enormous. It becomes one of the highest-grossing films of the year. People cheer in theaters. Parents post videos of their children seeing a hero who finally looks like them. But Chadwick Boseman carries something into that release that the audience doesn't know. Ian and Taylor didn't make it. They died before the movie came out. They never saw it. In a 2018 interview, Boseman talks about them. His voice breaks. He says, there are two little kids, Ian and Taylor, who recently passed from cancer. Throughout filming, I was communicating with them, knowing they were both terminal. And then he says something else, something that stays with you. What their parents said was that they were trying to hold on till this movie comes. He pauses. The room goes quiet. And then he says, I realized they anticipated something great. Not a prepared tribute, not a speech, just a man remembering something real, something he'd been carrying for months. He knew the boys might not make it. He kept reaching out anyway, not to save them, just to be present, to be the voice on the other end of a phone call, to let them know they mattered. And this is the part of the story almost no one knew at the time. Not the fans, not the children, not even most of the people working beside him. In 2016, 1 year before Black Panther began production, Chadwick Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. He told almost no one. He continued working through surgeries, through chemotherapy, through the physical exhaustion of filming. He went to set, put on the suit, and became T'Challa. And somewhere in the middle of that fight, he found time to encourage children fighting the same disease. A man battling cancer in private, reaching out to children battling cancer. Not asking for comfort, not asking for recognition, just giving what he had, his time, his presence, his voice. He never told them, because that wasn't the point. Chadwick Boseman passed away on August 28, 2020. He was 43 years old. When his family revealed the diagnosis publicly, the world learned everything at once. The years of treatment, the years of silence, and the years of work he had continued doing quietly in the middle of it. There are no recordings of most of those conversations with the boys. No cameras in the hospital hallways. No announcement when he showed up. Just a man who decided that while he was in the fight of his own life, he would still show up for children in theirs. Zoe said meeting him gave her strength. Ian and Taylor's parents said their boys were trying to hold on, and somewhere a producer still has that text message. These are small things. Quiet things. The kind of things that rarely make headlines. But they tell you everything about the person behind the spotlight. Not the awards. Not the box office. Not the legacy written afterward. The hospital hallway, the phone call, the message sent late at night, for a child who just needed to know someone cared. That is the kindness most people never saw. If stories like this move you, consider subscribing. Because there are many more acts of quiet courage hiding behind familiar names. And remember, the definition of integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching, especially when it's unlikely and unexpected.